For most of his life, Chibuzo believed effort was proof of love, loyalty, and goodness. He believed that if he kept giving, his time, his strength, his patience, things would eventually work out. He believed people would change if he tried harder, care if he showed more, appreciate him if he stayed longer. That belief followed him from childhood into adulthood like a shadow he never questioned. Chibuzo was the kind of man people described as too good. He showed up even when he was tired. He listened even when no one listened to him. He helped even when his own needs were screaming for attention. Friends leaned on him like a pillar, family leaned on him like a wall, and strangers leaned on him like a borrowed crutch. And he never said no. Not because he was strong, but because he was afraid of being seen as selfish, unkind, or unimportant. He invested his energy everywhere except where it returned. In his 20s, he supported friends who never supported him back. He lent money that never returned, offered advice that was ignored, and gave emotional labor to people who disappeared the moment he needed a shoulder. He told himself it was fine. Life is not about keeping score, he would say. But deep inside, something was quietly draining. When he fell in love, the pattern continued. He loved deeply, loyally, and blindly. He loved with explanations, patience, and sacrifice. He became the one who always apologized first, even when he was hurt. The one who always understood, even when he was misunderstood. The one who always waited, even when promises kept breaking. He poured affection, reassurance, and effort into a relationship that never truly poured back. Every time he asked for time, he was told to be patient. Every time he asked for honesty, he was told he was overthinking. Every time he expressed pain, it was minimized. Yet he stayed. Because leaving felt like failure. Because he believed love meant endurance. Because he had been taught that giving up was weakness. But the truth was simple and cruel, he was pouring into an empty cup. Empty cups don't overflow. They don't nourish you back. They don't refill what you lose. They just absorb until you have nothing left, and then they ask for more. The breaking point didn't come with drama. It came quietly, on an ordinary evening. Chibuzo sat alone in his room, staring at his phone after another long message he sent was met with silence. Not anger. Not a fight. Just silence. And in that silence, a heavy realization settled in his chest. He was exhausted. Not tired in the body, but tired in the soul. He looked back at his life and saw a long trail of one-sided effort. Relationships where he carried the weight alone. Friendships that survived only because he held them together. Dreams he postponed because he was busy saving everyone else. Boundaries he never set because he didn't want to disappoint anyone. And for the first time, he asked himself a dangerous question. What am I getting back? The answer scared him. Nothing. No growth. No peace. No support. No appreciation. Just depletion. That night, Chibuzo didn't cry. He didn't shout. He didn't make dramatic decisions. He simply understood something that changed him forever. Energy is a currency. And he had been spending it carelessly. From that moment, something shifted. He didn't become wicked. He didn't become cold. He became intentional. He stopped explaining himself to people who never tried to understand him. He stopped chasing conversations where his voice was always ignored. He stopped giving unlimited access to people who treated his presence like it was replaceable. For the first time, he chose where his energy went. When a friend called only to ask for favors, he learned to say, "I can't right now," without guilt. When someone dismissed his feelings, he stopped trying to convince them they mattered. When a relationship demanded endless sacrifice without effort in return, he stepped back. And the world reacted. Some people were offended. They called him selfish, changed, proud. Some disappeared completely once they realized the tap was no longer running freely. And that hurt, but it also taught him something powerful. People who benefit from your exhaustion will always resist your rest. As he pulled his energy back, something unexpected happened. Space appeared. Mental space. Emotional space. Time. Peace. And in that space, he finally met himself. He invested that energy into learning new skills. Into his health. Into his dreams. Into people who listened, checked in, and showed up without being begged. He discovered what mutual effort felt like, and it shocked him how easy life became when energy flowed both ways. For the first time, love didn't feel like begging. Friendship didn't feel like labor. Progress didn't feel like punishment. He learned that not everyone deserves your full cup. Some people only come around when they are thirsty. Some don't want to pour into you, they just want to drink until you're empty. And it is not your responsibility to keep them hydrated at the cost of your own survival. Chibuzo also learned something deeper: being kind does not mean being available to abuse. Being patient does not mean tolerating neglect. Loving does not mean self-erasure. Energy invested wisely multiplies. Energy invested wrongly disappears. Years later, when people asked him what changed, he didn't give long explanations. He simply said, "I stopped pouring into empty cups." Because once you understand that your energy is your life force, you guard it differently. You invest it where it grows you, not where it drains you. You choose reciprocity over attachment. Peace over approval. Purpose over people-pleasing. And the most powerful lesson he learned was this: you don't owe anyone access to you just because you've always been available. You don't have to keep watering dead plants out of habit. And you are allowed to walk away, not because you don't care, but because you finally do. So if you ever feel constantly tired, unappreciated, unseen, or emotionally bankrupt, pause and ask yourself this question: where am I investing my energy? Because life rewards those who invest wisely. And the moment you stop pouring into empty cups, you finally have enough to fill your own. If this story spoke to you, if it reminded you of moments where you gave too much and received too little, then you're not alone. Stories like this exist to wake us up, to heal us, and to help us choose better for ourselves. This is Geraldinho Stories, a place where deep life lessons are told through powerful stories, where emotions meet wisdom, and where real experiences are turned into meaning. If you believe your energy matters. If you're learning to stop pouring into empty cups. If you want stories that challenge your mind and strengthen your spirit, subscribe to Geraldinho Stories. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it today, and leave a comment if this message touched you in any way. Your support helps these stories reach the people who need them most. And remember, invest your energy where it returns, not where it drains.